Right, so to start with, there are quite a few diffusers on the market. I have been experimenting with the Hot Sock to review that on the blog, and also this contraption is the diffuser. So again, I've been trying that out and I'll be reviewing that for you. What I'm going to use for today's video, however, I'm going to use just a normal diffuser that everyone's got on their hairdryer, because that's what most of us are going to have, and also this is sort of the easiest one to start with. This is just a quick snapshot of how you're going to start before you diffuse your hair. So I've washed and conditioned my hair with the Kinky Curly products, which I'm using to review on the blog next month, and I'm getting really good results with those. I've plopped as normal with my t-shirt. Now, really important with diffusing is that you know that it is going to dry your hair more than if you let it air dry, so make sure through whatever means you usually use, add a little bit more moisture to your hair. Products are really important as well, so you will need something with a little bit more control because your hair will frizz slightly more when you diffuse as opposed to air drying. All of my products I get from the Curly Emporium, which is the store for the British Curly's website. If you're not familiar with either the British Curly's website or Curly Emporium, I highly recommend that you have a look. The Curly Emporium has loads of products, really reasonable prices, and their delivery is really, really quick, so definitely have a look if you're looking to purchase some more products. The British Curly's website as well is amazing. It's like my go-to website. There's loads on there. There's blogs, there's articles, there's forums and discussions, so yeah, definitely have a check of that if you haven't already. So these are my three main favourite styling products. I love the Diva Curl Ultra Defining Gel. I'm a massive fan of the Kinky Curly Curling Custard, and also the Jessie Curl Spiralicious Styling Gel. With the diffusing, because it does make my hair slightly drier than other products, for diffusing, my two favourite are those two. And again, I got these off Curly Emporium. So now you're washed and plopped and styled, we're going to start with our diffusing. I'm going to diffuse my hair and I'm going to show you the result, and then I'm going to explain to you what I did to get those results. So see you in a bit. Hi guys, so I finished diffusing and you can see that I've got really nice frizz-free volumised curls. So I'm going to show you how I got these results with my 6 top tips to prevent diffusion confusion. So let's get started. It's really important before we use a diffuser to understand what the diffuser actually does. So basically it does just that, it diffuses. So this jet of hot air that's coming out of your hairdryer, it will get dispersed through all these holes that you can see here, and what that does is it just stops your hair being blown around so much, because it's that movement that's going to cause really bad frizz with our curls. So you can see the difference the diffuser makes. If I give my hair a blast without it, it's quite vicious. If I pop this on and do the same thing, much better. Now, it's also very important when we use this to understand this will enhance your curls and volumise them, but it won't make curls. So if you use this on curly or wavy hair, it will enhance that, volumise it and dry it. If you use this on straight hair, all you're going to do is just volumise your straight hair. So these don't make curls. Also very important with our hairdryers to understand how they work. I know that sounds really silly, but just bear with me. So every hairdryer is going to have a heat setting, and it's also going to have an airspeed setting. So that brings me to my first top tip, which is know your airspeed. First top tip is have it on the lowest airspeed setting that you can. It might take a little while longer, but your hair will get blown around less, which means much less frizz. So I used the lowest air setting on this, and it took maybe half an hour or so. My hair's still slightly damp, but you can see it's not very frizzy at all. Next top tip with this is how you're going to have your head whilst you're drying your hair. To get maximum volume, you're going to tip your head upside down. I'm not going to do it because I'll go out of shot. But if you want lots of volume, I love big curls, so I tip my head upside down and I diffuse around with my head upside down. Some people like to start with their head flipped upside down and then stand up and just do a little bit of a head tilt. And that still gives you volume, but not as much. If your hair is long, it's better to flip your head upside down because this will give you maximum volume at the roots. My hair really needs a cut and a shape at the moment, so I'm getting quite a lot of flat head, so I like to flip my head upside down. If you've got shorter hair or bob length hair, then also you get really good results with flipping your head, but you can also just do the head tilting because you should already have quite a lot of volume anyway because the hair is lighter because it's shorter. Next top tip, is how to use your diffuser. You need to use it properly. I know, again, this sounds really silly, but I've seen some really bizarre versions of people using diffusers. So you don't want to put it here and dry, because you're just going to get a really dry circle on the side of your head. You don't need to be taking it in and out of the hair, because again, that's just going to cause frizz around the bottom and you're not going to get any volume at the top. Waving it around the top like a normal hairdryer, again, just isn't going to do anything. So the way I like to look at it is that your diffuser bowl is going to try and look up your curl. So whether you've got your head flips upside down or you're doing head tilting, it's always going to be like this. So you're going to get a section of hair and you're going to guide it into the diffuser bowl. Some people like to turn the power off while they're doing this, just so that your hair's not getting blown around. So once you've got your diffuser into the curls, you're then just going to bring it up to your head and you're going to leave it like that there. So obviously I can't tip my head upside down because I'll go out of shot, but you get the idea. So personally I like to have all the prongs and feel them against my scalp, and then I know that it's nice and close. My curls are also quite secured with those prongs and they're not going to be blowing around in the bowl. One of my secrets is to make sure that every section of hair is dry before you move on to the next section. This way, you're not pulling it in and out and disrupting the curl pattern and frizzing it up. So every section should be as dry as you want it before you go on to the next one, and then you just go around your head and dry your hair that way. Now, next top tip for you is the heat of your hairdryer. So hot air will dry and form the curl for you. Cool air will set that curl and set the volume in it. So if you just dry your hair with warm air and then let go of it and leave it, your hair will naturally drop a little bit after you've diffused it. So when it's dropped and cooled, it will just set in that drop position. So what you want to do is get all that volume into it and then set it in that position, and hopefully you'll end up with more volume by the end of it. So we've got our hair section, we fed it into the diffuser bowl. What you're going to do is you're going to dry that section of hair for at least 2 minutes on the hot air temperature. When that 2 minutes is up, sometimes it's a good idea to time it because we always underestimate time. Once that 2 minutes is up, we're then going to leave the diffuser exactly where it is. We're not going to fiddle with the hair. We're going to turn it onto the cool temperature, and we're going to leave it, normally I leave it for about 30 seconds, and what that does is it sets that hair in the bowl, and that's a really, really good tip. Once you've done that, the hair is cool, you can also check to see if it's dry. It's a bit misleading because warm air will always make your hair feel dry. If you cool the hair down, it's much easier to see if it's properly dry as you want it. So once you've done your 2 minutes on hot, you're going to turn it down to cool, do 30 seconds, let the hair cool down, feel if it's as dry as you want it. If it is, absolutely fine. We're going to take the curl out of the bowl and then that section's done. If it's not as dry as you want it, no problem. You just leave the bowl there and do another hot cycle, then cool it down and check again. But very important, make sure it's dry as you want it before you move on to the next section. How dry you want your hair depends on a lot of factors. It depends why you're diffusing. I like to get my hair probably sort of 90% dry when I'm using a diffuser. If you're doing it to enhance waves on your hair, you should dry your hair completely to really set that maximum style in. With curly hair, mine is going to curl anyway, either way, so I don't need to get it too dry, but I like to get it quite dry just for the volume factor. Another really important top tip for you is do not fiddle. If I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, don't fiddle with your hair. So if you fiddle with your hair, you're disturbing the curl pattern, you're going to get frizz. So our technique of making sure each section is dry before we go on to the next one means that we're disturbing the hair as least as possible. And it's the same when you're drying your hair, even when you're flipping your hair or head tilting. You're not in a production of fame, you don't need to be flinging your hair around, and all that's going to do is just create frizz. You can get the volume you need from the diffuser and the head tipping or head tilting. You don't need to be whipping your head around. So that's a really good tip. Once you've mastered using a diffuser properly, it's a really good addition to your curly hair weaponry. One bonus little tip for you guys is that when you do diffuse your hair, it will be quite massive after you've done it. So some people diffuse and are like, holy moly. Personally, I really like that. But just remember that your hair will naturally drop. So once you've diffused and you set the cool curl, it still will drop a little bit, so don't worry. You can always just refresh your hair with some water or product and do a bit of finger styling just to sort out any crazy bits. A really good way I like to re-volumise my hair, just even during the day, is something I learned off Diva Curl on their website. So basically, you don't want to be fiddling around with the top bits, and remember, no fiddling. So what you do, I might go out of shot for this, but you'll still see the results. You're going to tip your head upside down, and you're going to put your fingers under the top layers while your hair is upside down, and you're literally just going to go like that when your head is upside down. So this doesn't disrupt the top curls, it gives you amazing volume, and you'll see when I flip my head back up, you'll see what a good result you get. So I'm going to tip it upside down gently, like so. I'm going to pop my fingers in, give it a quick zhuzh, take things out, and then when you come back up again, I haven't got a mirror, so God knows what I look like, but you can see there, it's like an instant volumizer, so I love that trick, I do that all the time. Anyway, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this video has helped. Please give it a try, and I'd love to see your before and after results as well. Please check out the website and the YouTube channel for more demos, and take care of yourselves. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!